Seeds. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I created this art quilt. It's called Number 13, The Ring. It's created using a kaleidoscopic effect where I compose hexagons out of 6 identical triangles, and then I use those hexagons to compose each art quilt. When I get it the way I like it, I sew it together, add a border, a back, matting, and quilt the whole thing together.
So, how long have you been doing this?
I started in 2008, so it's just a couple years.
Yeah.
And I started off slow, and then some friends saw my work when I only had one done and was halfway into another, and they said, "We'd like to buy some." And I said, "I'd love to sell you some, but I don't have any more than one to sell, so can you hang on?" They couldn't. So I said to myself, I'm never going to put myself in that situation again. And I gave myself a goal for 2009 to have completed 10 quilts by the end of 2009. And I got myself to 12. And this was the first one of 2010, which is why it's called Number 13.
Very nice. So how long did it take you to make?
Well, based on the average of what I did in 2009, I managed 12 quilts in 12 months. So what I tell people is I can get one done in a month, but that's in major production mode. That's intense. This year has been more about things like this, getting my work out there, shown, sold. So I won't have completed 10 more quilts by the end of this year, but I'm currently working on Number 16 at home.
Very nice. Very nice. So how would you describe the process behind this? Your
process,
technique?
the thing that I like about it is I'm trained as an architect and practiced as an architect. I'm a website designer and information technology support person. And all of those things require meticulous planning, which I'm good at. But for something more artistic, this process forces me to stay in the moment. I don't plan this all out in advance. I have to make it up as I go. I start by cutting the fabric, putting the triangles together to see what the hexagons look like. And until I create the hexagons, I don't know what kind of shapes or flowers or whatever I'm going to get. And then once I have those, then I have to work with them on the wall, and I don't know what those are going to want to do together until I start moving them around and they start working together, the pieces flowing and all, and then it's like a conversation. I listen to what the quilt's telling me and I respond to it. This one, the white pieces started to arrange themselves. Well, I mean, I was arranging them, but left on their own, they created a fairly regular hexagon because of the geometry underlying the piece. And I thought, I like that, but I'd like to see if I can't finesse the pieces to create the look of more of a circle. And that was actually pretty challenging, was to bring the right pieces in that have little bits of white so that from far away it looks like a ring or a wreath of white flowers. And I just kept working it until I got it. I use digital photography in my camera and I take pictures because unlike in this room where you can get really far away from the quilt, where I'm working at home, I can get no more than maybe 30 feet away, and that's not far enough to get that really distant view. So I use my digital camera that allows me to see the quilt that big, which is the equivalent of really far away, and I can see what the overall shape is. So I'm working between the distant view and the up-close view and making sure it works at both levels.
Yeah. So how'd you hear of ArtPrize?
I have friends who live here in town, and they had been to ArtPrize as visitors last year. And when it was coming around again, they said, you really ought to look into this. And I did, and I was like, I think I'd like to give that a try.
Yeah. So, did you have an easy time getting a venue, or how was that whole process?
I was ready with my portfolio information on the website when they were ready to register artists, and I registered, and then I just sat back and waited to see if any venues would contact me, and within like 2 days the Grand Rapids Public Museum contacted me and asked if they could host my piece, and I thought about it for like a second and said, yeah, that would be really great. And another venue approached me later on, and by then I was already negotiating a contract with the museum, and I'm really glad I did. They've been fantastic to work with, and they've done a beautiful job of lighting the piece and taking care of it. I'm really impressed with this place.
Well, hey, thanks for the interview and good luck.
Thank you.